Hey, Fitness of Business listeners. Before we get into today's episode, I wanted to tell you about my Substack. It's my free weekly newsletter where I share more real stories, super helpful guides, and templates you can download and implement like today. Head over to leslieboyce.substack.com and subscribe. That's LESLIEBOYCE.substack.com. All right, let's get to the episode. I want to kick off today's episode with a quick personal story. I lived in New York City for about 5 years chasing the oh so glamorous audition life. But when waiting tables in Times Square and cattle call auditions weren't quite working out the way I wanted, I knew I still wanted to be on stage. So I put all my energy into performing one-woman cabaret shows. And I usually talk about this as really my foray into entrepreneurship. I mean, I did everything myself, from concept to production to promotion. But here's what happened. The day before every single show, without fail, I got sick. And it was always something respiratory. Of course, the one system I absolutely needed to be strong on performance night. But during prep, I was terrified to take a day off or skip a workout or give up a shift at the restaurant. Who am I kidding? I hated waiting tables. But I thought slowing down meant I wasn't doing enough. And my body clearly disagreed. So that is exactly what we're talking about today. How pushing without recovery leads to burnout. It just will. And how can you build in rest before your business forces it on you? My guest today is Zehra Ashary, founder of Offbeat Outlook. She is a business coach who helps health and service-based businesses grow without burning out. She shows owners how to keep clients coming back, train their teams, and set up systems that let the business run smoothly, even when they're not at the center of it all. With her background in high-performance sales and trust-based leadership, Zehra combines practical strategy with real-world insight to help owners scale smarter and with confidence. But before we get to today's conversation, every episode kicks off with a listener question in a segment we call, Hey Coach, what is keeping you up at night about your business? Submit your questions to Leslie@thefitnessofbusiness.com.
Hey, coach, I run a small bakery and I feel like I can't ever take a day off. If I close even for one day, I worry my customers will go somewhere else. And if I step away from the kitchen, the orders pile up. But lately, I'm exhausted, I'm snapping at my staff, and barely enjoying baking anymore. Athletes schedule recovery days to stay strong. So, how do I do that in my business without everything falling apart?
So, Zehra, welcome.
Hi. Hi.
It's
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I'm excited to talk about this.
Me too. This is a really great piece, a topic that you've created. So thank you for having me on here. And I hope we can help some people with this.
I hope so too. So, I'd love to just jump right in and talk about Chelsea's question. I think it's something a lot of owners and operators fear is they step away, someone else grabs their business, or they're going to lose momentum, or how would you answer her question?
I mean, I think the fact that she's a bakery owner, that is a labor of love. And food is a love language for so many people. And the way I would take it is almost like a maternal state. You are the baker, you're baking all this stuff for your employees, for your customers, for your clients. But you're kind of like the mama bear. And sometimes mama bear needs a day off, and some people need to miss you. So if you close you also, from what it sounds like, you understand the need to take a day off. So if you
Hmm.
understand the need to take a day off, let me tell you what would be more beneficial too is the benefit of that you may have not thought of is the fact that when you take the day off, you're letting people, you're giving space for people to miss you, your clients and your team. And that is where the love starts to grow more and more. No one misses mama unless mama gets a sick day or leaves. Then everyone realizes how important mama bear is in the family. And you
So
being a
true.
baker, yeah, and you being a baker of your own kind of community, you're kind of your own kind of mama bear. So take the day off and relish the day off because you're giving space for people to miss you.
Hmm. And that's an awesome perspective from the side of the customer, the client, or the employees. But what does it do for the owner?
Well, it depends on how you take your day off. I'm really apprehensive on how people take their days off. If you're feeling burnt out, there's 2 ways to do it. Like, laying on the couch. Couch is your best friend of just doing nothing. If you can give your nervous system the space to do nothing, as uncomfortable as it is, as much of a laundry list you have to take care of your home, taking care of your body, your vessel, so that your mind can rest, your hands can rest, your ankles can rest because you're on your feet all day. Your
Mhm.
body's gonna thank you in a way that sleep never could.
Yeah. You said that you're kind of apprehensive to talk about how people take a day off, but are there things that you feel like should be sort of non-negotiables when it comes to approaching recovery, be it a duration or focus or lack of, or is it really, really so individualized?
I think you have to be more cognizant of why you're taking the day off. So if you're taking a day off because your body is exhausted, then you already know that you're taking the day off to give your body a full rest. But if you're feeling burnt out and it's more of an emotional state, then sitting on the couch is just going to aggravate that pain of feeling burnt out. Which in that case, I guess the solution I would give for you is to reconnect with yourself. And if you can't reconnect with yourself, go in nature walks, connect with your family, start filling your cup up more, and
Mhm.
find joy. It's so important that every day you can at least 1 hour do something that fills your cup up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, because so many people, I mean, I've definitely have fallen into this trap, and I've talked about this before on the show where once I had a child of my own, it was a lot easier for me to not take on an identity that was exclusively a business owner, a gym owner, because now I'm a mom and a business owner. But I think it's really easy to get caught in this trap of this is my baby. Speaking about the business, and I love it. I don't want to take a day away from it because I love it so much, and my identity is wrapped up around in it. So I think, can you maybe speak to some of the long term implications of that mentality and how to sort of implement the rest and recovery sooner than later in order to, be more sustainable?
Um, yeah, I have this weird one, which is a car. Why do cars last 10 years, if that? And a human body lasts for let's say 75, 100 years. It's because like a car, when a car's not driving, is just sitting still. And I think a lot of people, when they rest, they go on vacation or something, but they're not healing themselves. Everyone knows that sleep is
Mm,
healing, but there's other ways to heal yourself. So the reason why we live so long is not only do we rest, but we also heal ourselves. And the fact that you said that the identity of being the business owner, being a mom, all that stuff, that was all created because of you, because of
mm,
who you are as a person. And none of this, your business, your family, your kids, would exist without you. So you really need to connect with yourself. Otherwise, you're a lost vessel. And you'll need the business more than the business needs you. And you never want to be in that position because you'll end up making mistakes. You'll end up coming out more desperate without even realizing in really subtle ways that you won't even realize it. And that's kind of the compound effect.
mhm.
I had this client who owns a pub and he wants to quit the pub actually. He's burned out. He has to do it every day. And the reason why he has to do it every day despite being burned out is because his family's pushing him to it. And even though
Like
he's
his parents' family or like his own nuclear family? I'm
um
just more curious where that pressure is coming from.
that's coming from this his we'll just keep the family
Oh,
right
okay,
now.
okay. Alright.
just because it's a more of a sensitive topic on
Oh,
this
okay,
stuff. So
okay. Totally fair. Yeah.
Um, so he loved the pub and it was thriving. But now because he wakes up every day wanting to quit, but he can't let it quit because there's too much emotional complexities that's not letting him quit. And because of that, that emotional ickiness kind of weaves through your employees and out to your clients and customers. And that is the compound effect happening there. Now, if he took more time to fortify who he is as a person before this, then he would have been able to stand up with his family and say, I'm done. I'm ready to retire. But because
Mm,
he's always been the pub guy, the family's not letting him quit because they're too scared
mhm,
of who he would be without it. And that's what you don't
mm.
want.
Yeah, yeah. So, I think it's also important to recognize that, like, your identity can change. Like, it's okay just because maybe you've been operating your business a certain way at a certain pace that may or may not be sustainable for 15, 20 years, however long it's been, and you decide whether you have, like, physical reminders, like getting sick before a performance, or you just decide you want more balance in your life, like, it is okay to shift the perspective, but it has to start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I think, thank you for even saying that because it even reminded me, like, I don't have to stay attached to identity that I have. It's actually empowering to be okay not to be the baker all the time or be the business coach or be the woman that owns the cross trainer gym. To give yourself that freedom allows you comes to the business with fresh eyes and more ease into the business. You're not like, I have to be the best mom ever, otherwise it's gonna suck. It's too much pressure.
No, I have to. I do. I have to.
Somebody said to me, dare to be normal. Dare to be normal. When you dare yourself to be normal, you give your permission of not putting what should be's and allow your own inner UPS thing to the world.
Mhm.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So, what makes you so passionate about this topic? Can you speak from experience?
I think my nervous laugh has definitely indicated that. Uh-huh. I'm actually came from a burnout. I got into business coaching because I was completely burnt out from the real estate business.
Mhm.
And I was very much like, I must be the top agent of San Francisco and I must be the 1%. I must make this much amount of money. And it was just a lot of pressure and a lot of like action to do. So I never let myself to fully enjoy. And I was so in work mode, hustle mode all the time that it burned me out. And didn't take enough breaks to actually think, well, what do I want?
Mhm.
And COVID forced the break of it for me to actually do that. But you don't want another world epidemic to like force you to reflect things. So that's why it's so important to actually take time recovery days for this stuff. And I wish I did more of that.
Yeah, it's really funny you bring up not that COVID is funny, but I have had more conversations in the last, I don't know, couple months with business owners who, like, credit COVID and what happened as a result in their businesses with giving them the ability to think about things differently. It was like it's hard stop. You had to pivot, you had to figure it out, you had to get creative. We're all, stuck at home thinking about how happy or unhappy we are and were, and it's, like, been a surprisingly positive, outcome from something that was clearly not positive, but it's just sort of interesting that that's come up so much.
Yeah. And it kind of makes sense for our topic, right? Because like we're talking about recovery days, pause days. COVID literally forced everyone to pause.
Mhm.
And I get it with some people, they're actually scared to pause because in that long pause, as you said, a lot of business owners reflected, am I happy? Am I not happy? And they either double down their business or they moved on. And for some
Mhm.
people, you probably subconsciously already know if you're happy or not happy, and you're scared to pull the trigger and reach that big. And the beauty of the recovery days is the fact that you get to connect with that why. You get to connect with why you're doing this, whether it's for you or not, because you want to do something that truly nourishes you. You weren't
Mm.
put on this planet to have a business that doesn't feed your soul.
Mhm. So, for people listening who are like, "I get everything you're saying, it all makes sense, but I don't know what nourishes me." Like, I know my business and I know the hustle mode. Like, how could someone even start to identify things that fill their cup?
First off, I wanted to say, Leslie, that's a really profound insight you have because a lot of people come to me with that exact same question and almost like
Mm.
cry and embarrassed, like, I don't know what keeps me happy anymore.
Right.
And it's very like, it's a common problem and a problem that not many people want to admit.
Mhm.
And
Right.
the thing, yeah, so then they just kind of turn on Netflix or something and they think, well, this movie makes me happy. Eating food makes me happy, I guess. But when we're talking about filling your cup, we're not talking about pleasure. We're not talking about happiness. We're talking about joy. And joy
Mm.
is when you lose track of time, when you become a kid again, or the time doesn't matter. Joy could be for when the father plays tea time with his daughter. That's pure
Mhm.
joy. He's in the moment playing with his daughter.
Mhm.
Um, Joy for some people is going for a walk for 30 minutes, getting lost in their thoughts, or doing like listening to a podcast that fills them up. You want to
Mhm.
start making a list of what could make you happy and start testing those out. In fact, like I have this 10 tenets that I have where I literally write down things that keep me happy. Because
Hmm.
sometimes when I'm in the moment of so much stress and I got an hour or 2 hours for myself, I can't think of what's going to fill my cup up. This is
Yeah.
something that yeah, you're like, I don't know what to do. So I really look at this as a cheat code. I'm like, okay, what can I do that's going to make me feel better, bring me joy? And, would it be helpful if I actually read to you what I have here?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So, sometimes, like, I tend to as calm and grounded as I am, there's moments when I get really anxious or stressed out and stuff. So, the things to help me recharge myself is actually jumping. Jumping up and down and just kinda shaking it out, especially when you have, like, that awful meeting with somebody. You just wanna shake your hands out, and surprisingly, that helps.
Mm.
Um, and then a walk is a common thing for universally. It's something
Yeah.
that everyone likes from 30 to 75 minutes. I'll be honest, I didn't like walking, but after getting used to it, I started to see the benefits of it.
Mhm.
And then there's dancing, because for me, I'm a dancer. For others, it could be, singing. I actually do exploration. So I look at my hometown and where can I explore, get sensory, you know, something new to the senses.
Yeah.
Getting a massage, and calling people that really fill my cup up. That's so
Mhm.
important. I usually have on speed dial 5 people I can call all the time if I need it that I know will fill me up.
Yeah.
And it's all energy management. Uh, and then, dressing up as a woman and as a guy, you feel better when you just dress up for no
Uh-huh.
reason. And then clean and declutter your space. That's so important.
I love
And
that. I love that
yes.
because I need to do it. So thank you for the reminder.
I did
But
my
you're right.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I think the most strongest one, and people kind of roll their eyes at it, is meditate. And that is there's many forms of meditation, but if you don't roll your eyes and actually give it a go, you'll start seeing huge benefits of how it's gonna help give you an active recovery to show up
Yeah.
better at work.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea is, like, keep that list handy because, as you mentioned, I think this was really important to kind of, emphasize when you are in that moment where your anxiety feels high, to then have to, dig down deep and discover what it is that you can do to get out of that sort of state of mind is probably unrealistic. It's like another added layer of pressure. So if you already have your sort of,
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
yeah.
mean, systems is there to you have to create systems to help you. So, this is what mine is, and you can literally look at this list and be like, "Okay, I have a half day, or I have 30 minutes, or I got 5 minutes," and you can
Mhm.
easily gauge which one can fulfill your cup the quickest.
Yeah.
Because the whole reason why we had active rest days or recovery days is because we're here to recharge our batteries,
Yeah.
and energy is very important, especially
Yeah.
you being a business owner.
Yes. So what kind of recovery or something what are some things that you suggest to your clients as ways that they can build in recovery that you might struggle with implementing yourself?
Ooh, what way to call me out.
I mean, look, let's just this is that we're changing the name to the vulnerability podcast.
Yeah, love it. Um, I tend to be really avoidant,
Mm.
and I think when you are getting burnt out or stressed, there's a deeper truth that's wanting to come out, and subconsciously, it's wanting to come out, which is why as soon as you're done with work, you come home, you drop your bags, you start cleaning and getting the kids ready for dinner and all this stuff, and you won't let yourself rest because
Mhm.
something inside of you is nagging at you. And for me, I'm doing my best to be better at this, but I avoid it. I don't want to, I know I'm burning out, but I don't want to know what the truth is because the truth is scary, but as cheesy as it is, it will set you free long term.
I've heard that before. Oh, of course. It's like, why do people not go to therapy or say therapy's not for them? It's like they don't want to face some hard truths about themselves and admit that they need to do something different in order to have a different outcome because it's hard.
Agree, agree. And not every therapist, not every meditation, and not every suggestion is going to work for you. You have to find what works for you, which is
Mhm.
why these recovery dates are so important because it's for you to connect with yourself, discover who you are. Because the more you discover who you are these discovery days, the better you'll be. So, like for the lady who's the baker, if she takes more time to discover herself, she could probably, without realizing, she may like, origami all of a sudden and find origami ways to incorporate into her business, but she wouldn't have realized her love of origami and building that into her bakery if she didn't take the time to discover that.
Yeah. That's so true is you don't think in the future sense of how is this recovery day, which can probably feel very uncomfortable at first, actually going to potentially help support growth in my business, not even just like me coming back more refreshed, like you said, it could expand your marketing plan. You could meet somebody out on a walk who's like, "Ooh, I love your business." I mean, there's the possibilities are endless.
I mean, I was listening to this YouTube where this, billionaire says that most of his friends, they set a few days not to have any kind of activities or business meetings because 'cause they're letting whatever higher power you believe or serendipity to fall into their lap. So they will do things that make them happy throughout the day because when you're in a happy state, you're willing to open yourself up and you're attracting good things to yourself. And you said it so well, like, you'll meet people, that you didn't know you would meet, that could be collaboration, making more money. I mean, these are hidden gifts. Recovery days are eh, they need to be built in your schedule because even though it looks like you're not doing anything, in the backbone you are. I mean, think of it this way. Do you think about your heart beating? You don't, but it
When I
works
when
so
I run, yes, yeah. Then that's all I think about.
good. a basis, most people don't think about their heart beating or how the
Mhm.
bones are moving as you reach for a cup. But it's important. It's behind the scenes that are happening, even in your own conscious self. There's a whole subconscious network that's happening, and it needs time to take front stage and center. And if you conscious self is always doing that, you're never letting the subconscious bring its grander truths to you and give you more blessings, both in business, personal, and every other category.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing in the, theater analogy. Thank you for that full circle moment. We didn't even plan that. Um, I, you know, so I attended Colorado Startup Week this week, a lot of sessions, and this is
Wow.
not exclusive to some of the stuff that I heard about this week. This is but it just very much reinforced, obviously, just talking to a bunch of entrepreneurs, but, you know, there's there's like a bit of a seemingly conflicting message coming across of if you want it, you've got to hustle and it's hard and you're going to work day and night and you're going and you know, but that's what running a business is. And yes, but I think it can be really tempting or feel like you are going to again just fall behind if you don't adopt that mentality and then start to wonder, well, if I take some rest or recovery days, but my competitors are not, are they going to be come out ahead or am I going to be at a disadvantage? Like, how do you sort of reconcile those two things?
I love this so much. Because like I literally was coaching another client of mine like this. Those people have that's what leads to burnout. And yeah, their burnout threshold may be 10 years, maybe 7 years, maybe 1 year. But you're not in it to like for the short term. You're in it for the long term. Or at least do it in a healthy way. And there is a way to build a business healthy. The problem with this hustle culture is pushing. And the reason why you're pushing, it's such a hard word because pushing means you have to abandon a part of you, maybe the little kid in you that doesn't want to show up. So you have to abandon that version of you to show up at work and hustle and make the sales and go to the street fairs and all that stuff. But that little kid in you is like, "I don't want to, I don't want to," gets louder and louder and louder.
Mhm.
And what happens is, yes, you do need to push yourself beyond your, comfort, but push is not the right word, it's effort. You need to make the effort. So you wanna talk to the part of you that doesn't wanna do this and kind of be like, "I know we don't wanna do this, but we're gonna show up as best as we can. Let's just make an effort to be there." Kind of a
Mhm.
gentle parenting to yourself, because when you do that, even though the inner kid of you may be begrudgingly coming to the street fair, it's you're not fighting with it,
Mhm.
and thus you're able to show up better. The
Yeah.
the wall everyone thinks they need to take a hammer and hit the wall or the rock to make the rock crack, but water does it just as well, and if not better, because it becomes smoother lines that everyone can enjoy.
Yeah. Interesting analogy. I like it. Well, I know that's something that, you and I have talked about and I wanted to make sure we talk about here is, um, you how you approach your clients when it comes to their delivery of discovery calls or trying to, uh, close a sale. Um, I would love to know when you're coaching your clients on this particular part of the process, how can they, whether they outright say, here is my availability to their potential client, or they have a subconscious or a plan behind the scenes to build in this rest and recovery before they even start working with someone. Like, where does this come into play, I guess, in the sales sort of cycle with regards to when you're coaching your clients?
I think I think the part that I'm having trouble is the word cycle, because cycle means it's actually manufactured rest days, and I tend to attract people where it's not so. machine like. They're not able to be like, okay, every third Thursday, I take a day off for myself. But what I do tell them is to give is signs that the gas meter is running low. That's or you need to figure out when your signs are because energy is fluid. Like there's some people that zap your energy right away, and then there's some people that give your energy every day. So to have a cycle probably wouldn't be the best word, but the way I would tell my clients in sales calls is a lot of my clients aren't sales professionals, they're healthcare providers. So selling actually, it's a weird thing. They have to sell and they don't want to sell because they're there to heal people. I don't want them. So then they get burnt out and they need the recovery day because they've been focused on the money. And
Yep.
it's those days where I tell them you need to stop, connect with yourself, connect with your business, connect why you even created this business, and connect
Yeah.
with yourself as who like, fill your cup up, because then you can come back and then the reframe will be so much easier for it to land. Because 'cause you're calling these people and closing these discover calls, with these potential patients because they need your help. But you want to be able to hear it. You'll be able to hear it at a conscious level, but at a deeper level to truly embody it, you need those days of allowing yourself to be like,
Oh, I hate
"Mm,
this.
but this
Yeah,
all."
you think you hate it, right, and then you just need a
Yeah,
little,
yeah,
break,
like,
a little
take
distance.
yeah, it's kinda like, I think somebody told me this, is that most people are operating from the age of 5 to 15 most of the time. So so if you think about it, like, your 5-year-old or your 13-year-old is having an inner tantrum of all these sales calls. So you need to start thinking of your subconscious like that, and then that 5-year-old needs to take a nap or needs to take a day off, the 13-year-old, whatever way you wanna reparent yourself on these recovery days.
Oh gosh, I would not wanna reparent myself at any of those ages, I don't think. Yeah, like, oof, oof, I was tough. Um, well, you kind of touched on this, but I wanna, like, dig a little deeper into the challenges that, professionals in the health and sort of service related fields face is that often, I won't give this a blanket statement, but often they are doing it because they love what they do. Like I've worked with massage therapists and yoga instructors and estheticians, and they love what they do. And because they love it so much, they want to help everybody. Right? And so I think that that is, a really difficult line to draw and boundary to set, particularly in those industries, because it's like, well, but if I discount a little bit, I'll be able to help more people because I just want everyone's skin to glow or, whatever it is. But to your point, I just think that there's like an extra layer of challenge in that type of industry. And do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the yeah. I guess, let me to better answer this question, are we focusing more on the money aspect or we are more focused on them getting burned out because they help too many people?
I mean, I think they go hand in hand because they're gonna need to help more people if they aren't charging enough, and so the money comes into play if they feel like they just need to keep their schedule booked or their hours longer. So I think it's, like, how to find that balance.
So in this case, like, there's this hair salon in Notting Hill, London. This guy was obsessed with cutting people's hair. It He loved cutting hair, and it was all biggie to him, snap, 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 all of it. Um, but I was seeing visibly in a year's time how his energy dimmed. He still liked it, but his energy dimmed. And he would always be like, I want more customers. I want more customers. I want more customers. But I'm thinking like some of the best hair salon people, they're not chasing customers. In fact, they have a
Mhm.
waiting list. Well, and the reason why they have a waiting list is because each customer that comes in, they give full presents
Yeah.
of that customer. And yes,
Yep.
I know you love cutting and you wanna help so many people, but you're gonna help more people with quality time
Yeah.
if you actually be more thoughtful about it,
Yeah.
and that helps his
Totally.
business. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, here's the thing, like, I'll tell you, a lot of this advice I'm giving you, real estate me would not take any of it. I
Well,
would say,
that's
"Listen,
exactly where I was just gonna go with this. Okay, so go ahead.
oh,
Yep.
great, we're at a thing."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing, I understand as someone who's very logical, who grew up in bro hustle culture and just, like, must sell, always be closing and rest days for the week. I'll rest when I die kinda thing. And a lot of this stuff, it's soft. It sounds so soft. It sounds so airy. Believe me, I understand that. But would you consider if you had to go a year without your mom's hug, how painful is that? There's people that don't have hugs from their mom. It's soft. It's gushy. But a mom's love, a mom's hug heals you and it allows you to show better in the world. You can't quantify magical love like that. And that magical love also resides within you with you. So I would say to the hustle people that like numbers and like status, you're here trying to ask for numbers, and I'm here trying to save your life.
Mhm.
So
Uh,
which one do you would focus on?
yeah.
Yeah. How much money would you pay to have your mom's hug again?
Oh, don't make me cry.
Exactly,
I
but
mean, yeah.
that's what's happening inside of you. There's, I think, 70 billion, sorry, 70 trillion cells that live in your body every day serving you. You are their mother, their father, and they're looking to get a hug from you. And that comes in rest. It's not sexy. It's not Alex Hermosi, like, bro, let's do this. But that's what's going to allow you to wake up the next day and
Mhm.
the next day and the next day and show up more consistently.
Yeah.
The tortoise in the hair. It's a simple thing. Does
It
that.
is. No, it's exactly I mean, it's exactly why, you know, it's why I got into business coaching, and it sounds like that's why you got into business coaching is like, I did it the other way, and it was great to a point, but here's a better way to do it, and how can I help other people do it better from the lessons I learned along the way?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so in regards to an ideal recovery practice or, for our very, like, tactical, I want a plan, I want to know what to do as soon as this episode is over. What are 1 or 2 things people can implement, and what is your take on ideal sort of, I don't know, ratio or approach?
Um, Here's a daily habit, but I'm gonna give you an analogy, but it's a daily habit that you need to start implementing so that it's not really it's I consider it recovery day because it's giving me space to think and all that stuff. Have you ever gone to, like, a hotel room and the door you open the hotel, it's all clean, nice, and then if you need to do a business call, you can do the business call with such clarity because the whole space is clear? And in the movie Limitless, the first thing the guy does when he takes the Limitless pill is he cleans his surroundings. So, it's so important to clean your surroundings. I do it every night before I go to bed so that when I show up back in my office, I have this space for it. And that is not an active recovery, but it is a way to have more clarity in the day and
Mhm.
realizing you're giving your parts of your brain recovery because it's noise. It's a lot of noise in your brain, and recovery is about rest. So, resting the noise is the physical noise around your space
Yeah.
is
No, I
not
like that.
it's not something to be underrated. In
Mhm.
fact, every time I get frustrated, I think I forgot to say one of them is clean. I just say clean and
You
organize
did,
your
yeah.
home.
Mhm. Yeah.
I would do that. That's my non-negotiable for people who are starting to get overwhelmed, start cleaning.
I love that,
Small.
and it doesn't and maybe to even, like, make it more, achievable or attainable is, like, set a clock for 10 minutes and get as far as you can in 10 minutes, right? It doesn't have to be like you go to town organizing your closet, but maybe it's that feels a little bit less intimidating to just a bite size.
Thank you, Leslie, for adding on to that because that's exactly what I do. I just forgot to mention it. So thank you for
Oh,
having
good.
the
Yeah.
But I
We live
put
by our
like
calendars.
I actually put like 2 different songs every time I'm starting to clean. So just kinda gives my body signal that work is done, that it's time
Mhm.
to clean up and start proceeding to rest. Because even going
Yeah.
from the transition from active work to rest, that transition is the cleaning.
I love that, and I think that is a really important, thing to highlight is, maybe it's cleaning for some people, maybe it's going for a walk for some people, but building in a intentional transition because we don't realize how, high strung or, sort of on overdrive we are at the end of the day often, and so to have that sort of, planned transition, I think is a great idea.
Yeah. So thank you for asking that question. It's a really helpful question.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, can you share any examples of a client that you have worked with who was not practicing much recovery, if at all, and and then started to implement it and then saw, a change for the positive in their business?
I'm laughing at this because it's gonna scare some of these listeners.
Oh boy.
I had a fitness coach, and he's a coach, and he would bookend every meeting. Like even when we had sessions, like, he literally was running, trying to do this, then continuing to do that, and on to the next meeting. And this is like fitness training, as you know, requires a lot of presence to be there, and like a lot, it's a lot. It's a lot to happen. So for him to bookmark everything from like this guy slept only 4 hours a day. Like he was a workaholic. Um, Now here's the thing. Since coaching with me, he has taken more space with himself. And this is the part that I think might scare a lot of people is the fact that he realized that London is no longer for him. And he
Mm.
took space for himself. He realized that he needs to leave and he's going to Dubai. And it's unofficial. So that's why I'm going to keep it anonymous or however we say that. But he's transitioning from being an in-person fitness coach to an online fitness coach. But
Mhm.
because he's taking more and more time, he's realizing that his impact is not limited to fitness. And because his impact is not limited to fitness, he's now kind of in the beginning stages of using the online fitness coaching as a platform for a men's circle and creating bigger impacts. And not just a men's circle, but he's also working with larger corporations
Mhm.
to add more health and influence. And his reach is starting to start. I'm seeing before he does the snowball effect that's happening.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, he was making really good money as a fitness trainer. But because I forced him to actually start taking pauses, this is what's happened. He's now on
Yeah.
his way to Dubai. He's thinking his next steps. He's already seeing kind of the early stages of influence.
Yeah.
So with the baker, I mean, like, there's so many amazing possibilities that you probably didn't even see
Mhm.
that's happening with
Right.
the rest. Like
Yeah.
w- the world, there's so much more possibilities than you could consciously think of.
Mhm. Well, and maybe, like, a bit of a way to not that I wanna summarize that, but is to say you have to trust in that process as much as we hear that we need to trust in the process of you've got your marketing plan and you're posting and you're like, all these things are very process oriented in terms of business growth, like, this is a process too that you have to see as, a long-term
Yeah.
thing.
That's wow. Yes. Yes. Wow, I love it because I didn't think of this, and I'm almost upset that I didn't mention this and you did. Oh my god, this is actually really key why a lot of people don't do that.
Right,
Is
because you don't get this immediate feedback. You don't get like, I put in, $500 on Google Ads and I can say it made me $1,000 or whatever the case is. I put in an hour of recovery every day. There's no monetary direct return.
Yeah, and building on that, like, I know you love using, fitness analogies. I love using dating analogies. So, like
I'm glad you brought that up. I was gonna ask you about that.
and
Go
yeah,
for it.
um, so you brought up trust. Yeah, rest requires trust in the unknown, and that's also it's like trusting your boyfriend or girlfriend. You know they're going on holiday. You don't know if they're gonna actually stay loyal to you or not. You have no idea, but you have trust that it's
Yep.
good that they're gonna be there, and because you have that trust, you're able to be at ease. Imagine
Yeah.
if you weren't trusting, you would actually ruin that relationship. Like, "What are
Mhm.
you? Why did you call me? I saw on by my friends that you're not at home. Where were you?" You would ruin that relationship, and that's kinda what you're doing with your own self. If you can't
Yep.
trust your own body's signal, whose team are you on?
Mhm. Right. Ultimately, you better be on your own team because no one else is gonna be on it if you're not on it.
Well, we haven't found a way to, I guess, parasite, be a human host,
Yeah.
take over human
We
body, that
oh
out,
my
yeah.
god. No, but I think like a deep fake is probably, the closest thing at this point. Terrifying, totally terrifying. Um, well, Zara, thanks for joining me today. This was
Yeah, you're
awesome.
yeah, no, no, you're an amazing host, and you're clearly insightful, and I can see why people would come and get advice from you. Because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't think about it that angle."
Oh, good. Well, may both
Yeah.
of our businesses just skyrocket at a very manageable pace.
But truthfully, it's just like for me, I would love to just make more a positive impact. I'm a huge believer that as much as I love the bro hustle culture, I came from there. I also know there's a way to build a business that doesn't require you to push and sacrifice part of yourself.
I
And
completely agree.
I'd love to be in a world where that is more popular, and I want to see more of those kind of businesses thriving because if done right, uh, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree, and I appreciate that. So yeah, so Zara works with individuals and with teams. So if you or anyone on your team is interested in learning more, you can check her out on Instagram at offbeat outlook underscore and on YouTube at offbeat outlook. And these links will all be in the show notes. So we start every episode with our Hey Coach segment, and we end each interview with this question. So, on the podcast, we talk a lot about how entrepreneurship is basically a workout. What is one business strength or habit that you wish you had developed earlier in your career? That's okay. Nope, this is what it's about. You can take time. I can give you some examples.
Um,
It can be
yeah,
recovery. I mean, it can be
I think for me, it's to quiet the noise. Because there's so many like, well, you should do this, you should do that. This is how X, Y, and Z did it, and this person did it, and look how amazing they are, and that's your mentor, and this is my mentor, and they did this way, and all this stuff. There's so many people telling you how to do it, and various levels of success, but nobody is you. And I wish the more I listened to myself, I think I would have been in a much better place and listen to myself with kindness.
mhm.
I will tell you if I did that, I would be completely in a different zone than I
Mm,
am now. That would be probably
yeah,
my biggest regret to myself is the fact that I listened to other people. And that is a business as advice because the business is truly a reflection of you.
totally agree. I swear every answer to this question, I'm like, yeah, yeah, me too. Yep, that also. Yep, me too. But, that's why I like asking it is because, like, you cannot have that kind of perspective without going through it, and
Mhm.
also, it is what helps to make you a great coach is you can say, "Ugh, here are some things that I recognize, and can help with." So, I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
No, no, thanks. I had to think for a minute on that one.
Yeah, I know it's a toughie. Um All right. Well, if you are listening and you like today's episode, make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and submit your Hey Coach questions to me at Leslie at thefitnessofbusiness.com. See you next time.